All right. Hope this video finds everyone doing well. I hope this all goes okay. I made this presentation and am doing the recording all on my phone, and I think it's gonna go okay. Doing just the PowerPoint here. Like I said, I made it all on my phone with an app called Keynote, and then just did the screen record. So I hope this all goes okay. So this is the lesson that I would be teaching in the high school, and it's over the effects of alcohol. So we're going to talk about all the negatives with alcohol. So to start out, I would have a bell ringer, and I would have you get out a piece of paper and write down if you or anyone you know has been negatively affected by alcohol, whether that's, knowing someone that has that drinks excessively, and there are negative effects that come with it that come back to you or them. So just write down anything like that. And so we do that in class. I'd give you a little bit of time to write that down, and then we would discuss it as a class. I'd go around and ask people to share, so we can see kind of what you have experienced through negative effects of alcohol through other people. So this picture here is from a Corona beer commercial, and I felt like that was appropriate with all this coronavirus going on. So I felt like I had to use that one. So when you see these commercials, you see them like on these, you see them on a beach having a good time, drinking, friends around, and any other commercial as well. You see people drinking with their friends and partying, having a lot of fun, and they may be having a lot of fun, but one thing they don't show you in those commercials or tell you is the negatives that come with it, whether it's in the future, the day after, maybe during the time. Once you get drunk, you don't know what's going on. We're going to talk about all that, but they don't show you the negatives that come with it, with hangovers, relationship problems, anything like that, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So they just want to show you the good parts and the good times, not what the negatives that come with it. So some of the effects of alcohol that I'm going to be talking about: death. I'm going to touch on that for just a second. DUIs, physical symptoms. We're going to talk about those. And one I don't have on there is relationships and relationship problems and negatives from alcohol that cause problems between either you and the significant other or family. So if we were in class, I would ask, how many deaths are there each year from alcohol related causes? And when I say alcohol related causes, that would be either from liver failure, which we'll talk about, drunk driving incidents, anything like that, anything that has to do with alcohol. And the answer to that is about 88,000 people a year. So, and that they say, I read about 62,000 men, 26,000 women, of those 88,000 each year. Alcohol is the third leading preventable cause of death in the United States. So preventable, that's something that we can control. And the first being tobacco, the second being poor diet and physical activity, and then third, alcohol. So like I said, that's something we can control. It's the third highest of preventable causes, and it's estimated about 88,000 people a year from the alcohol-related deaths. So DUIs, we all know, driving under the influence. So that's when you get behind the wheel, you're drunk, you've been drinking, anything over blood alcohol level of 0.08 is considered to be driving while intoxicated or driving under the influence, DUI. The average DUI cost is about $10,000, which is a lot of money to spend just for, because you decided to get behind the wheel while you were drunk. I don't have it on the slide here, I'm just going to talk about it, but with DUIs, comes you can go to jail for a long time, depending on how you're going to go to jail either way. But if it's multiple offenses, or if you caused a wreck, uh, maybe even if you hit if you hit someone and it killed them, then you're going to jail for a long time, getting charged with manslaughter. So never get behind the wheel while drinking. Always call someone to come pick you up, call for an Uber, anything like that. Do not get behind the wheel of a motor vehicle while impaired by alcohol. So because it will, it goes on your record. It'll be hard to get certain jobs if you want, depending on what you want to do. So always avoid drinking and driving. Never do it. So one of the other effects, there's high risk behaviors. That's kind of goes into the commercial I was talking about. They don't tell you about the hangovers or anything like that. And that's part of it. Hangovers, decision making, even certain types of cancer. All of these are risk factors you take when you start to drink alcohol. Because drinking alcohol does increase your risk of mouth cancer, throat cancer, esophagus, larynx, which that's your voice box, liver. We're going to talk about liver disease here in just a little bit. And the more you drink, the higher the risk. So decision making, when you drink a lot, when you get drunk, you black out. Maybe once you get drunk, you're feeling good. You don't care what's going on. So some of the decisions you make aren't always the best. Such as some people decide to get behind the wheel and drive while they're drunk. That is never a good decision. Sometimes being drunk can lead to making decisions such as doing drugs, which is not a good thing to do either. So don't do drugs. And so, like I said, some of the decision making you do, you don't care because you're drunk, and are not always good decisions that you make. So going into the physical aspects of the negative effects of alcohol, liver disease being one, which the one we're talking about is alcohol-related liver disease, so which is also ARLD. The liver is damaged from years of excessive drinking. Years of alcohol abuse can cause the liver to become inflamed or swollen. This damage, the inflamed and swollen to the liver, the scarring is known as cirrhosis, which is the final stage of liver disease. And it can be treated. It's very serious once you get to that point. But some signs of liver disease that you can try to catch it early: jaundice, which is yellowing of the skin and whites of the eyes; fatigue and digestive issues. Those are one. Abdominal pain, swelling in the legs and ankles, itchy skin, dark urine, and pale stool color. So those are things you can notice. Nausea is also one. So you see any of those from someone that drinks a lot, that or see, then they could have early signs of liver disease, and they need to get to the hospital and get it checked out, because the earlier you catch anything, the better. Fetal alcohol syndrome. This is FAS, which is a physical and mental damage in a child due to exposure while in the womb. So this is caused by a woman who's pregnant and drinks while they're pregnant, and this doesn't it doesn't usually kill the baby. Depending on how much they drink, it could possibly, but usually it gives like um, facial features there, low body weight. It gives some type of physical appearance to the child that we don't always see. I read where there are fewer than 200,000 cases per year, and I mean that's quite a few. And just because the mother wanted to drink while she was pregnant, like I said, they exposed to alcohol, and a child being exposed to it, they're gonna have some defects, and these defects are not reversible. So I mean, once a child is born like this, that's how they're born, because the mom consumed alcohol while she was pregnant. Brain damage could be something that is caused from it, and growth problems, small eye opening, thin upper lip, things that are very, you can easily see a lot of times due to FAS. So this is why you hear, that pregnant women should never smoke or drink, excuse me, drink, because the child will have defects. Like with smoking, they'll have breathing problems, and with this, they have some of the same stuff, but there are differences. But a pregnant woman should never drink while she is pregnant. And then relationships. This, like I said, wasn't at the beginning. I said I would talk about it though. And so relationships, when you may know someone, this is kind of going back to the bell ringer. You may know someone or have experienced something like this, but when someone gets drunk, they can become abusive. If you're around a dad or even a mom or uncle, anything like that, who drinks a lot, when they get drunk, they could become abusive. It's not always the case, but it can happen. So it is something that you see quite often. They become physically or mentally abusive. Physically being where they're actually laying hands on you or someone else, hitting, and then mentally they could be yelling and bringing you down, and it just messes with your mental state. So those are things. It could even, and then if you're married or in a committed relationship with someone else, you can see some of the same things. One of them starts to drink. They don't know what they're doing. They become abusive, and you see it a lot in movies where sometimes it's the dad, sometimes it's the husband, sometimes stuff like that. They get drunk and then just don't care and don't know what they're doing, and they'll hit. Sometimes they'll just go look for fights, it might not be with you, but they might be just going out looking for fights. So that's a negative effect for alcohol has on relationships. And this one, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about. I just got this little bit right here. Binge drinking. It is something that it is it's an effect, because a lot of people, they don't like to drink all the time, just on certain occasions, whether it's holidays or every once in a while they'll go out with a friend or with some friends, and they're going out just to drink, and they'll take in 4 or 5 drinks are consumed. I think I read where it was 4 drinks within 2 hours for girls, and 5 drinks within 2 hours for men is considered binge drinking. And so, you like to celebrate just on rare occasions. You drink a lot, and sometimes binge drinking can lead to, heavy long-term drinking, which then can lead to the stuff we talked about, such as liver disease and stuff like that. Excessive drinking, kind of the same thing. It's bad for the cardiovascular system. It can lead to the increased risk of heart attack, high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, stuff like that. So, uh, I mean, there's a lot, we see all the good things, all the fun times that's associated with alcohol, but a lot of times we do not see the bads and negatives of alcohol. So, again, that's all I've got right there. Um, if you know someone that drinks a lot, drinks all the time, there's AA you can advise them to go to, stuff like that. That's a whole nother lesson. Never get behind the wheel while you're drinking. Do not drink and drive. Call an Uber. Ubers are not that expensive. It's way cheaper than getting a DUI, like we discussed. So that's all I have for y'all today. When you're old enough, if you're gonna drink responsibly. I advise not to drink with these negative effects, but people make their own decisions. But make sure you're old enough. Do it responsibly. Do not drink and drive. And that's all I have for y'all.